Hello everyone, Air here, and in this video I'm going to explain Elemental Mastery in depth. After this video, you guys will have a great idea of how to build your character and team. So a lot of people ask what set should you use, how you should build your character, should you put more attack, should you, like, who's a DPS, who's your support, who's your healer, etc., right? A lot of characters can be your DPS, a lot of characters can be both, your support, your DPS. It really depends how you want to build it. So this guy is going to help you. So first, let's talk about Elemental Mastery. What is this number? So these are easy. Defend, I have this much defend, attack this much, but I have this much Elemental Mastery. But what does it mean? So first, Elemental Mastery does not mean your elemental skill or elemental burst. It does not represent their attack. It doesn't represent how strong it is either. So this thing here means right here. So everyone does have the same thing, except the difference would be applying different percentage. So right here, the higher a character's elemental mastery, the stronger the elemental energy that can be released. So this is elemental reaction. So for example, when water meets fire, that's an elemental reaction. That's elemental mastery. Okay, so the higher you have for these, all these percentage will go higher. But like for example, like one elemental mastery, how much percent is that? We don't know, because you can't just put one. I think the minimum you have to put around 15 or 19, depending on the set. For example, here I tested it out and I put 15 on because I have this set here, or this artifact that gives 15. Some gives 19, some gives 30, and some set gives you 82. For example, instructor gives you 80. And after using elemental skill, increases all party members' elemental mastery by 120. So if we go in here, you'll see that 15 again is the minimum. So 15 gives you around 7% swirl, shatter, electro charge. So this here I'll also explain later, I'll elaborate. So this is the percentage. So how you can go as high as over 100%, or you can even go to 200%. So how important this is depends on the character class. Well, I should say the element. So now we're gonna look at this graph. Okay, let's look at this chart here. I'm just gonna go over it quickly in case there's new players. I assume majority of you know about this combination. So first thing first, you cannot combo more than 2 elements. So if you look at this here, this means you can combo with either one. Doesn't mean you can combo with all 4. It's always just 2 elements combined together. That is your effect. Okay, so these are the combinations here. So for example, right here, burning is nature plus fire, deals fire damage over time, and then crystallize absorbs some of the. So it's geo plus all these, either one of these, and then absorbs some of the target's elemental energy and drops a crystal that can give a character an elemental shield if they touch the crystal. The shield would absorb all types of damage, but it protects against the shield's element more effectively than other types of damage. So if you have been using geo characters, sometimes you'll see random crystals dropped, and that is why is it from here. It's crystallized. So when you see these, you pop geo, and then you'll get those shield. Okay, electro charge is water and thunder, lightning, and then deals electro damage over time. And then frozen, ice and water, freezes the target. It also deals a lot of damage. It's just not shown here, which I'll go back to the in-game description later. So melt is water and ice. Ice and fire. So this one is really unique. So attack will deal times 2 damage if pyro, which is fire. If a fire hits ice, then you deal times 2 damage, double of the damage. But if it's the other way around, when ice hits fire, you deal 1.5 times damage. Overloaded deals AoE fire damage. So this is a really good combo. And then now you have super conduct. This is also very unique. So when ice meets thunder, it doesn't matter which hits which. It'll deal ice AoE damage and reduces the target's defense, physical defense, by 50%. It's not shown here, but it's on other website, and it's also shown in the game. Well, during the loading screen it shows. Okay, so swirl. Wind plus any of these elements will make a elemental damage and spreads the event, which is a really big AoE, and it'll make it even larger. Like you see, it spreads the event. So vaporize, water and fire. Attack will deal ×2 damage if water meets fire. But if fire meets water, you deal 1.5 times damage. Okay, so right here, why is this important? Okay, so we're gonna go back to in-game. Okay, so how do you know how much elemental mastery you would need? Of course, the higher the better, but don't forget that your elemental skill and elemental burst, their damage is based off how much attack you have. Your elemental mastery is only how you increase it when you do a combo. So who do you put elemental mastery on? If you look at my team here, these 4 are my main. As you can see, I have no elemental mastery here. I have elemental mastery here, and I have barely any here. And I'm going to tell you guys why. So if you look at this here, I'm going to put the chart on the bottom left corner. Okay, so, well, we just went over this, so I won't go over this again. So this shows you how much % you'll get out of this number. So if you have maybe around 300, this would probably be 100%. This would be around like 60 something, and then this is like maybe 80 to 90. So okay, so it really depends who triggers this. So for example, my main character, I'm the one triggering the swirl, so I want her to have high elemental mastery, because when I combo with any of these element, it will give me this much damage of this %. So it's like critical damage, but in elemental damage. Okay, so since she's the one triggering, she can trigger any one of this, including Kaeya, the ice, or water, whatever. So I'm only using official to apply the lightning effect, which means I'm not using her to combo. I'm using her to trigger it. I'm using her to apply it onto the enemy. Then I switch back to her and then use her to combo. Because even if you have it like super high, if you're not the one applying the combo, it's useless. You rather stack the HP, because she's the initiator. So the first attack will be higher. And then, I don't know if you guys used her before, she summons a raven, and then she just keeps attacking. So when the bird keeps attacking, that is the initial attack, and she's not the one again, she's not the one doing the combo. Of course, when it goes together, this will also increases the damage, but that's not my main focus. She is the main focus when it comes to the combo. And then why do I have Xianling? Xianling is also the one doing the combo. She would initiate, she'll apply the effect, and she combos, which is why I need high elemental mastery. And then of course I have it, but I don't really need it. I have it because my set gives it. It's nice to have. If you're lucky, like sometimes when you have a lot of stats on your, which one is the one I get it? Nah, you know what? I don't even know which one. I don't want to spend too much time on the artifact set here. But anyway, so these gives you, sometimes they give you a lot of stats. So if you're lucky, you get that. So that's great. Then this is where it comes from, which is still good because she provides the shield. Like you can see from, oops, sorry, from here. It increases the damage absorption power of shields created through crystallized by 5.8%. So higher it is, the higher the stronger the shield is. But anyways, I think I lost track, sorry. So basically, whoever is initiating, you want to have high elemental mastery. Now you also have to think, okay, is that it? No, it's not. It also depends on the cooldown. So if you have someone such as the main character, okay, let's say the Raven is 15 seconds. So she's not a good character to initiate. Well, I can't say she's not good, but there is better. The lower the cooldown is, the better it is. So let's say if you look at her Q, it's 15, which is not bad, but maybe if someone on your team, for example, I have the Traveler, the main character, if you use E, it's only 5 seconds, which means I can use it 3 times to initiate instead of using Official. And Official is very unique because when she summons the bird, it stays here. So I can use it maybe possibly 2 times or 3 times before it disappears. Channeling, same idea. She summons this raccoon or bear or whatever, and then you can see it does 4 bursts before it disappears, which means I probably have a chance to combo more than once. Well, probably not more than once. That one is pretty short, maybe. At least I can combo with it or after it. So either or, they can be initiator, this one or this one. But after, let's say I use my combo, and I can switch to Official, and then I summon the bird. Now they're going to do an explosion combo. Okay, so definitely read through that chart, and it depends how you want to build your team. So for example, if you are building, okay, so we're going to look at Super Conduct, which is a defend minus 50% debuff. So that's very strong. Let's say if you fight a boss, if you play, if you challenge the Abyss Spiral, they deal too much damage, and their defense is really high. So you want to kill them as soon as possible. That's the challenge, right? So you want to use your debuff that makes them much weaker, where you can deal more physical damage. So in this case, okay, let's say for example, I'm gonna use Lisa. Okay, Lisa and Ice. Okay, Lisa and Kaeya. So Lisa shouldn't even bother with the high. Don't worry about my build. These characters are not built. These are whatever. I'm just testing stuff. That's why I'm just dumping artifacts in. So let's say Lisa is the one just there to debuff. If your whole game plan is to debuff with Ice and Lisa, so when they combo, you probably don't even have to bother with the elemental mastery, because it doesn't matter how high your elemental mastery is, your debuff is still only 50%. Of course, the higher it is, you deal more damage before the debuff, or with the debuff, I should say. It's great, but I would say if you're just there to initiate, just to cause that debuff, maybe you want to stack a lot of attack. It's more beneficial in my opinion, because after you're done with your debuff, now your whole attack just deals much more damage. So in this case, you probably want to not build elemental mastery. Okay, that's pretty much it. I hope I explained this clearly. It's really deep. You really have to think of what your team composition is. For example, when it comes to Ningguan here, I think she doesn't need any elemental mastery. The reason why is because she does create a shield, but she needs more attack. You also have to look at every single character's talent and then decide, because it's really deep, and well, in the future, I think every character has a preferred set, at least 1 or 2, and those guides I would definitely explain why this character should equip this set. This character should have stack attacks, stack HP, etc. You really need to understand the constellation and the talents, which can go very long when it comes to that. So I definitely won't go through in this guide. So example, let's say Ningguan here. It doesn't matter because Crystallite does not combo with anything, only creates the shield. But if she is your main DPS, for example, you don't want to build that elemental mastery, because you're not using her to create the shield. You're using her to deal damage. And I'm going to show you guys this as well before I let you guys go. So I don't know if you guys have her. let's change. Ah, she's exploring. Whatever. So her attack homes and her E builds a wall. So the cooldown is pretty damn long. It's 10 seconds. So it's not, even if you're trying to make a shield, it's not ideal because she takes a long time to make one shield. When you can probably use, I don't know other Geo characters right now, but for my gameplay, Geo character is not worth the Elemental Mastery as of right now because all the bosses are not hard to defeat. So you want to stack the damage, you want to kill them before you don't even think of getting hit. Kill them first. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. For example, if I were to use Kaeya, I wouldn't even bother with the Elemental Mastery as well because he's usually just the one there to freeze. When you freeze, who cares about the damage? When you freeze, deal your damage with your attack. Because that will probably, because their attack is very, for example, after I freeze with Kaeya, then I just switch to Xianling here. And then look at the speed that she does. She'll probably deal way more damage rather than if you stack your, okay, let's say you stack your Elemental Mastery. When you do your freeze is overloaded. No, freeze is frozen. And if you look at, it doesn't even show frozen, which means frozen, sorry, I just found out. Frozen is not even part of this, so which means it won't give you that damage, I don't think. Okay, it probably just freezes, it doesn't give you that damage. So this is where you don't build Elemental Mastery. You're just wasting your stats. Alright guys, so that's it. I hope I explained it clearly. It really depends how you want to fight. I mean, how do you want to play your team? How do you want to play your character? I think a lot of characters can be DPS. A lot of characters can be a support. It depends what set you put on them and how you want to play. Some people like to play melee, so they want to be close. Some people want to play the ranged game, so they can use archery. They can also be a DPS because archer, you can do this and deals a lot of damage. Yeah, there's no set way to play. Even Ning Guan here, like people think she sucks. I'm telling you, she's really good too. And then she deals also a lot of damage. Okay guys, and I think one last thing I'm going to just briefly explain is that the artifact. So artifact is also one thing that determines if you should build a lot or not a lot. For example, here I put instructor set on the main character. So instructor set is pretty sick. So if you are building someone who needs a lot of element, instructor set would be one that I recommend. And increases elemental mastery by 80 when it's only 2 set, which is sick. And then when you have 4 set, after using elemental skill, increases all party members' elemental mastery by 120 for 8 seconds. Okay, which means, and this stacks on top of anybody's elemental mastery, which means she's gonna get extra 120, so 210. So, wait, yeah, 210, almost 220. And what it means is that it's 8 seconds. So now I have to calculate how long does your other heroes cooldown, or can they trigger within that 8 seconds. So you have to know their cooldown. Let's say you just use your sorry, I'm just go back to artifact. So after I use my skill, I have to make sure their cooldown is done, which means even I have 0 elemental mastery, but she's going to actually have 120, which is why this set is sick. Now when you have this set, you don't need another hero with the same set. You probably want another hero with a different set that can benefit the whole team. Since I have this already, if I have both, it doesn't stack. But I can possibly, I don't know, I haven't tested. Let's say I used her, and then I get her to use her instructor set. Does that mean it'll make it total of 16 seconds? I don't know if it stacks like that. I haven't had a chance to test it. If anyone knows, let me know. And yeah, that's it. So these guys all will have elemental mastery, which is why I put her first, and I put her with that set. It just works out the best because I can combo, and then now after I do my combo, everyone will have this increased, even though they're just the initiator. if I do go back to them. Alright guys, I hope I explained this clearly. I'm not the best person when it comes to explaining stuff, but I try my best. But yeah, other than that, any other questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below, or you can feel free to join my Discord also in the video description below. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you're watching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.